For today's lesson, we will be expanding and factoring algebraic expressions. And the standards that we will be covering are listed here: 6EE2, 6EE3, and 6EE4. So we're going to begin by using the distributive property to expand algebraic expressions. So here, I'm just going to rewrite this. We have 2 times the quantity r plus 8. And so what the distributive property tells us to do is we need to multiply everything inside the parentheses by 2. So we're going to start by taking 2 times r, which is 2r. And since we're adding, we're going to continue to add. And 2 times 8 is 16. So we're going to get that down to 2r plus 16. We expand 3 times the quantity k plus 6. We take 3 times k, which is 3k. We're adding. And then we take 3 times 6, which is 18. So we're going to expand these expressions. 3 times x is 3x. Again, we're adding. And 3 times 4 is 12. For number 2, 6 times 2x is 12x. And we're adding. 6 times 3 is 18. For number 3, 2 times 7 is 14. And we're adding. 2 times 6x is 12x. For number 4, 5 times y is 5y. And you can see we're subtracting, so we're going to keep that subtraction. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 4y is 16y, and we're subtracting. 4 times 1 is 4. And number 6, 9 times 5x is 45x, and we're subtracting. 9 times 2 is 18. We're going to state whether each pair of expressions are equivalent. So we're going to do our distributive property on number 7. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 5 is 30. And those are the same. So yes, they are equivalent. Number 8. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 3 is 21. Since you can move things around in addition, these are equivalent. 4 times y is 4y minus 4 times 4 is 16. 4y minus 16 is not the same as 4y minus 4, so those are not equivalent. 3 times y is 3y, and we're subtracting. 3 times 6 is 18. You cannot switch the order in subtraction, so those would not be equivalent. The second part of our lesson today is on factoring expressions. Well, factoring expressions is the opposite of what we just did with expanding. So what we do is we look at our 2 numbers here. We have 12 and we have 4. And we ask ourselves, what is the highest number that I can divide both of those by? Well, the highest number I can divide those by is 4. So 4 becomes the number outside of the parentheses. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And since we're subtracting, we're going to keep that as subtraction. And 4k divided by 4 is k. 2 and 10, the highest number I can divide those by is 2. 2y divided by 2 is y. We're adding, so I'm going to keep the addition. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. 6 and 9, the highest number I can divide both those by is 3. Well, 6z divided by 3 is 2z, and I'm still going to subtract. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 3x plus 3, the highest number I can divide those by is 3. 3x divided by 3 is x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. For number 2, the highest number I can divide those by is 2. 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 plus 6y, the highest number I can divide those by is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6y divided by 2 is 3y. 5y minus 10, the highest number I can divide those by is 5. 5y divided by 5 is y. I'm going to keep the subtraction. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 4 minus 10z, the highest number I can divide those by is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, minus 10z divided by 2 is 5z. And finally, 12 minus 8x, the highest number I can divide those by is 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8x divided by 4 is 2x. Highest number I can divide these by is 2. 8f divided by 2 is 4, so that's 4f. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. 12t minus 8, the highest numbers I can divide those by is 4. 12t divided by 4 is 3t. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 15 plus 5q, the highest number I can divide those by is 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 5q divided by 5 is q. And 32m minus 4, the highest number I can divide those by is 8. 32m divided by 8 is 4m. 40 divided by 8 is 5. And again, we want to divide them by the highest number we can. We could divide 32 and 40 by 2. We could also divide them by 4, but those are not the highest numbers that we could divide them by. And then finally, we're determining if expressions are equivalent. So the highest number I can divide those by is 2. So inside parentheses would be 4x plus 3. Those are the same. Highest number I can divide these by is 3. So I have 6 plus y. Remember, you can change around addition. So those are equivalent. If I divide both of these by 5, I get 5, and then x minus 2. Well, x minus 2 is not the same as x minus 5. So those are not equivalent. Divide both of these by 4, and I get 4 minus y. However, you cannot switch around the order in subtraction. So those are not equivalent. I can divide both of these by 3, and I get 5 plus x inside. You can switch around addition. So those are equivalent. And once again, you cannot switch around your order in subtraction. So those would not be equivalent. That is all for today's lesson. I hope this helps.